Welcome to Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered. In this episode of Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered, Lucy Loizou talks to Her Excellency, Irene Piki, Deputy Minister to the President of the Republic of Cyprus, about Minds in Cyprus, the official government initiative designed to encourage talented Cypriot professionals living abroad to return and contribute to the country's economic and social development. Launched by the President of the Republic of Cyprus, the initiative connects skilled members of the diaspora with local employers, with a particular focus on sectors such as fintech, shipping, and technology. It targets Cypriots with substantial professional experience gained overseas, aiming to reverse brain drain through targeted incentives, including proposed tax exemptions on employment income. Minds in Cyprus also supports repatriation by offering guidance on the local business environment, mentoring, and access to career opportunities, positioning the initiative as a strategic brain gain effort to strengthen Cyprus's competitiveness in the global talent market. This session was recorded live at the Cyprus Diaspora Forum on the 8th of May 2026 at the Amara Hotel in Limassol, Cyprus.
Kalimera σας, good morning everybody, and I'm very privileged to be here to moderate this session with Our Excellency Irene Piki. I'm going to introduce her to come on the stage after I give a little introduction, although she needs no introduction. We have, of course, the Deputy Minister to the President of the Republic of Cyprus, who's joined us today. Born in Nicosia, her role is to coordinate and to oversee government strategy and major projects across Cyprus. She's heavily involved in economic policy, innovation strategy, and international outreach. Fundamentally, she's one of our key officials behind the initiatives like Minds in Cyprus, and that is what she is going to speak to us today. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Her Excellency to the stage, Carlos Orises, and we're going to have the opportunity for questions at the end of our session. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. Very nice to meet everybody. Very nice to see you. Thanks for being here. It's a bit lonely up here. There was a very big, nice panel before me, but I'll try to make up for, for the lack of people on the stage. So it's a great to be here.
The quality rather than the quantity.
I think I'll sit over here because our microphone seems to be echoing a bit. So it's great to meet everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to Cyprus for this forum. I understand it's a number of years that it's been taking place. My first year to be here, and I'm greatly honored to be with you. I understand it's a forum that has evolved through the years. It's a great exchange of ideas and businesses and people that they're considering Cyprus as a first and second home. And it's great to be here at this time because Cyprus is indeed going through a profound change, a profound transformation. When the government of President Christodoulidis took office in March 2023, we did so with a very clear objective, and that is to modernize our state and to address long-standing challenges that affect citizens and businesses here in Cyprus, and to build a country that is more effective, more outward-looking, and more prepared for the future. At the core of this effort is a fundamental principle that sustainable growth requires a strong and diversified economy, institutions that function with efficiency and transparency, and a country that can create opportunities for people to thrive here. At the same time, it's at the core of the president's policy and strategy to strengthen Cyprus' role in the wider region of the Eastern Mediterranean, building bridges of cooperation and positioning Cyprus as a stable partner in the region and a credible European partner. And this is something very important that we never forget. Today, we are increasingly emerging as a European hub with international reach. I'm sure, especially being here in Limassol, everybody can see that. A country with stability, momentum, and perspective. But of course, this transformation that the country is doing cannot happen without its people. It cannot be a success without its people. And this is precisely where our relationship with the Cypriot diaspora comes into place and matters so deeply for us. Talent, expertise, and international networks are very important, and experiences of Cypriots that they live abroad are among the country's greatest strengths. So today, for those that they haven't heard it already, I would like to introduce Minds in Cyprus. You saw a short video already, which is one of our key initiatives launched last May by the President in London. And because I was reminded just outside, the President, his first role was as a young diplomat. He was proxenos, a counselor in the UK, in London. And I met a gentleman outside who told me that's how he met, that's how he remembers the President. And in some way, the President still feels like a counselor of Cyprus around the world. And this is the way he approaches people that they live abroad. And when he thought initially for the Minds in Cyprus initiative, he called us one day in his office and he said, I really want to do something about the Cyprus diaspora and to show to people, to Cypriots that they live abroad, whether they're first or second or third generation Cypriots, that our country indeed is changing, that they have other opportunities now to Cyprus, that Cyprus is not the Cyprus they left 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, either them or their parents. And so it's important to underline that Minds in Cyprus started as an idea, but it's something that is not owned only by the government, by a single institution, but the Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. Stavro is here with us, has played a very key role in the implementation, in the formulation and the implementation of this program, together also with Invest Cyprus. And what we are looking with this initiative is to attract talent, and to attract talent that looks for coherence, for continuity, and institutional alignment. So Minds in Cyprus is not just an incentive or opportunities, but it's about to demonstrating and showing how Cyprus can design and deliver a policy in a consistent, professional, and reliable manner. We are living, and I think you come from all around the world, it's very clear, we're living through a period of profound global transition. Geopolitical tensions, unfortunately, remain high in our region, but not only in our region. Supply chains are being reshaped, interrupted, and reshaped. Technological change is accelerating much faster than institutions can really absorb and adapt to. And talent, perhaps even more than capital nowadays, has become the most sought after resource globally. So for a small country, for a small state like Cyprus, what matters is to have strategic clarity, institutional reliability, stability, and openness. And Cyprus today occupies this unique position. We're a full member of the European Union. We're located at the crossroads of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. And we're operating in a region marked by instability, but remaining a predictable, rules-based, and safe partner. At the same time, the government internally is preparing the ground for structural reforms with a long-term horizon. We introduced only at the beginning of this year a very rigorous tax reform, which creates a very fair, transparent system, still one of the most competitive tax systems. But at the same time, we managed to increase the disposable income of all our citizens, all our employees, and also to help the competitiveness and productivities of our companies. There are many, many more reforms coming. They're not always easy reforms, but they're necessary, and they're at the heart of the government program in order to achieve institutional credibility and sustainable growth. And in today's global environment, what we feel is that talent does not follow growth alone, but it needs to follow confidence. And I understand that highly skilled professionals, they choose jurisdictions where institutions work, where rules are stable, and where there's a clear sense of direction. And this is particularly true in a world shaped so much by uncertainty as the world we live now. So for decades, Cyprus has been investing systematically in education, and I think this is something very important. We have one of the highest tertiary education level, and we've had this for many years. But for a long period, this cycle was incomplete. So we had opportunities at home were not enough. They didn't match global aspirations. And mobility was often only in one direction. So we had a lot of people going to study abroad, but they stayed abroad because they couldn't see the opportunities here on the island. And this is what we are changing now. So Cyprus now is going through a huge transition. We have a rapid growth of the ICT sector. Approximately 40% of Cyprus GDP now corresponds to the ICT sector. We have an amazing growth of the innovation and research ecosystem. We have 12 universities and more than 15 research institutions and centers of excellence. We are upgrading our professional and financial services. And we have also a lot of other emerging sectors like health, education, energy, and advanced technologies. This doesn't mean that we're abandoning the traditional sectors. We are upgrading them and diversifying the economy. So Minds in Cyprus is anchored exactly on this logic, and it is designed to connect the capabilities of people back into the Cypriot economy. And talent is the central enabler of this shift. Last April, we visited with the president, Mr. Christodoulidis, the United States. We went to 3 states together, and we talked with a lot of potential investors on the island. Some of those investments are already taking place on the island. Some programs have started. We're very proud to say that for those of you here that are from the innovation spectrum, Plug and Play, which is one of the major global accelerators, just set up a program here, for example, in Cyprus about a month ago. So when we went with the president to United States, the first thing that everybody was asking him was not the tax system, was nothing else, but was the talent. I mean, business, foreign companies, in order to come to Cyprus, they're very interested to see what talent you have of the island. And the Minds in Cyprus is anchored exactly on this logic, that we want our talent to understand what we have on the island and what opportunities there are, and how easy it is if they want to and if they're interested to relocate. Since the launch of the Minds of Cyprus initiative, we have more than 600 professionals across the world that have registered on the platform. We have more than 250 specialized positions that have been uploaded in the dedicated platform. And these are positions both in the private sector, but also in the public sector. Because I think something that is not very much known is that all the positions in the public sector, the high-level positions, the high managerial positions, are open also not only to civil servants, but from anybody from the private sector. And actually, since 2024, we have changed the system of recruiting in the government. So these managerial posts, they go through assessment centers. It's a much more transparent and clear procedure. So we have on this platform not only positions from the private sector, which of course are the majority, but we also have positions from the public sector. But we have also received more than 250 responses, proposals, and suggestions from members of the diaspora. And these questions or suggestions, They're very specific. They concern taxation and other incentives, professional pathways and licensing, schooling and education options, and employment opportunities for partners, and other administrative procedures and timelines. And we are very happy from the questions we receive, because this only helps us to make the program even better. And it's very positive that the expectations, what we receive, resonates so strongly with the direction of the government, of the reforms that we want to make in our country. Better, please move to the next line. So I wanted to clarify that we're not just inviting people of the diaspora to return on the basis of emotion. And this, I think, exactly the spirit of the video that you just watched at the beginning. We want to align with career opportunities, with quality of life, and with institutional support. So Minds in Cyprus provides visibility in the opportunities through these dedicated matching mechanisms that reduces information gaps and accelerates meaningful connections between people and employers. So we want also family integration to be smooth, and that's why we have included a number of information on how easy it is to relocate back to the country. Let me move now to the tax incentives, because we have two very important tax incentives. The government actually introduced a targeted tax incentive just through the Minds in Cyprus initiative. Its main characteristics are that you get 25% income tax exemption for the first 7 years after relocation. It's applicable both to employees and also to self-employed professionals, to somebody that wants to set up his own company. And it's applicable to individuals who relocated to Cyprus after the 1st January 2025, and provided that they were not tax residents in Cyprus for the previous 7 years, and with a minimum annual income of 30,000 euros. We have a more rigorous also tax incentive, but this is for people that have lived abroad longer. It's relevant to people that have lived abroad more than 15 years. And it provides a 50% income tax exemption for individuals earning over 55,000 annually. So have these two tax incentives that they're relevant to anybody that wants to come back to the island. It's important to say that these are not permanent advantages. They're just transitional tools to reduce the cost and the uncertainty of returning back to the island, and to provide individuals with the time needed to reestablish professional and personal roots. These measures create a predictable, a transparent, and competitive framework that rewards skills, productivity, and contribution. We understand that it might be a bit scary for somebody that wants to return back to a country to understand how the system works. And this is why we have set up also an information hub, which serves as the single reliable reference point and gives a lot of information how you can register on the national health system, about enrollment in public and private schools, registration to professional associations, social insurance, labor procedures, customs formalities, especially, all this information already available in other websites, but we thought it would be much better to have them all relocated at the same place. This hub is not static. With all the questions and queries we get from you, we refresh the material all the time to add more and more information. The action plan for the Minds in Cyprus initiative includes a number of targeted administrative facilitations like faster examination of professional registrations, accelerated processing of residence permits, and streamline access to housing and education schemes in order exactly to make the return of everybody as smooth as possible. As I said, I think already is that the president plays a lot of importance on foreign relationships. And we see how these foreign relationships actually have also a very strong impact on the economy, on the businesses. So we have already hosted a number of high-level visits from the President of France, from the Prime Minister of India, and from the President of the United Arab Emirates. All these come to Cyprus together with business missions. And we have, again, I'll mention Stavros here, we have a lot of business-to-business relationships. So we have the very strong, dynamic foreign policy linked at the same time with business and economic ties and relationship with those countries. Our new narrative is stability with perspective, a European hub with a global outlook, which reflects exactly how we're a trusted partner in a complex region, an island building a future-focused economy, and a place where lifestyle and talent meet. And this is where the diaspora plays indeed a very critical role, because we want you to be our partners in communicating this new narrative. It's something that we want both the people here in Cyprus, but all our ambassadors, if I can call you, because we see all of you as ambassadors. It's a very clear message that we want you to take back with you. So what comes next? Minds in Cyprus was definitely not a one-off initiative. We have a next event. We're doing our next events more as job career fairs. So we have our next event planned for the United Kingdom in June, and another one in United States probably in October or November. And we're collaborating very strongly. I see Fanos here with the Cypriots in the City in London, who they helped also for the first event to be a great success, and also with the newly established Cyprus Catalyst, a similar association set up in San Francisco earlier this year, which again was a result of the president's visit last year, where he met a great number of people, the diaspora in San Francisco and from the wider California region, and discuss with them, how we can bring them closer to us. I want to finish off and thank you for being here. To just saying that, we fully understand that talent today is mobile, but mobility alone does not determine choice. What matters is purpose, is predictability, and the ability to connect globally. And if you take one thing back with you, leaving from this presentation, it's the Minds in Cyprus initiative. If you haven't registered, please register on the platform. And I want to see all of you as ambassadors to carry this message also back home with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
With the tax reform that we introduced at the beginning of January, we have one of the most competitive tax systems globally. So this answers the second part about the incentives to the companies. We think that already we have a very attractive tax system. Regarding the young professionals, yes, as I said, if they have stayed, if they have been abroad for the last 7 years and they worked for 3 years abroad, they get the tax incentive. So they get 25% reduction in their tax. And I have to say here also that we have, at least in Europe, I don't know the systems around the world, We have the highest non-taxable income. So up to 22,000 euros, you get zero tax. There is no other European country that has such a low taxation. And with some exceptions, even you can go up to 26,000 that you pay zero tax, even without the tax incentive. And also, as I said, for young professionals that they come back, we don't have him here. We have the Research and Innovation Foundation, which gives out a lot of grants to young people that they want to start their first, their innovative companies. They have the pre-seed, the seed programs, the innovate programs. I'll just give you another statistics. From 21 to 28, from EU funds, we gave 400 million as incentives in various type of enterprises. So there are a lot of grant schemes, and now we're starting the next cycle of EU funding, which is going to be from 2028 to 2033. And again, there is going to be a lot of grant schemes and incentives for companies, whether it is for our digital upgrading, for our green, for new companies to be set up, for women entrepreneurship. So there are a number of schemes for also covering young professionals.
Thank you. And can I ask you, obviously the events of recent months with the war and it escalating, how do you see that impacting the Minds in Cyprus project? It adds a different complexity, challenges. I can imagine that's quite difficult.
Actually, I don't think it's difficult because, again, you can see how Cyprus is a stable partner in the region. I mean, we had disruption of flights, I think, for 2 days, and that was about it. Everything has gone back to normal. Yesterday, I received some information about arrivals, flight arrivals, tourist arrivals, and although there was a decrease in April, now we have statistics show that the numbers are very close to what we had last year. Last year was a record year for tourist arrivals here in Cyprus. And I'm mentioning tourists because tourists, I think, is the more volatile sector to this kind of events. And also already we're getting interest for people in the region from the Gulf area, from the Middle East, interest to looking at potential opportunities here in Cyprus, because being an EU member state, we are the most stable place in the region.
Thank you.
This is a joint initiative with the Chamber of Commerce and Invest Cyprus. We have the dedicated. We don't have we should have the QR code there. Anyway, we have the dedicated platform. We know that we've had, as I said, 600 people that they have already registered on the platform, actively looking in job opportunities. Of course, we need all the help that we can get. And both me and my office, my colleagues are here. We are open to answer any questions that you want. It's not so easy for us, to travel everywhere around the world and do events, but we can organize web events if you're interested with people that they want to hear more about the initiative. We were in contact with all our embassies around the world. And I think we did it last year when all the ambassadors, the Cypriot ambassadors were in Cyprus. The initiative was introduced to them. We're going to do it again this year, that we have the tax incentive. To be honest with you, it took some time from Parliament to approve the tax incentive. So we didn't do a very strong campaign until we had the tax incentive. It's only about a month and a half. that the tax incentive was voted from Parliament. And that's why we're starting with the new events, but we're very open to hear ideas and to collaborate with anybody that wants to get engaged and involved in this initiative. We're more than, as I said, more than willing to engage with anybody that wants to be our voice abroad. And this is a very interesting idea to see also about mentorships. What you discussed, what you said about the CY Catalyst in the US, I think it was a bit of an experiment for us. But we're more than willing if there are other communities, for example, I don't know, young professionals or professionals in Australia that they want to do something similar or somewhere else around the world. I mentioned Australia because we're having the discussion just outside, and because I know that in Australia we also have a big community. We're more than happy to discuss. Stavros has a question. Stavros, I don't know. I mean, we talk to each other 5 times a day, but maybe it's a comment.
You mentioned the Gulf, if we have any impact on the from people coming. Actually, this, believe it or not, it went the opposite way, because it has demonstrated that certain issues about some advertisements, some promotions were based on safety and how secure certain regions are, they all collapsed. And now a lot of people that left from here and went to those regions, they are inquiring, as the minister said, for coming back, because believe it or not, no matter what is said out there, because we had a cracker going on somewhere in the island, which was exaggerated and they made a lot of damage, there's the safest place towards east stops in Cyprus, and everybody knows that. We have demonstrated that time and time again. We had times when companies were relocating skeleton staff from the regions around us to Cyprus in order to be able to continue their operations for certain times. Now, this has shown and demonstrated yet again that the safety arc, if you like, stops here in Cyprus. And then, Minister, we had a suggestion last morning, yesterday, actually it came from that gentleman over there all the way from Brazil, Lambis, that perhaps we should work on establishing a so-called, or somehow, which will be a thesmos, an diaspora agency here in Cyprus, will be the official contact point of anybody from diaspora when they need something, to have their own person, their own organization, their own food in Cyprus, to be the first contact. And I promised that I would take it up with you, but I didn't expect it would be so soon. Thank you.
Well, I mean, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has a unit that has a responsibility to be the first point of entry of anybody from the diaspora. But maybe we need to strengthen that, and I'll take back this recommendation to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I was sure that Stavros was going to mention money again. I'm not going to comment on the government funding the chamber. But we do a lot of things together with the chamber, and I think one of the things that this president is doing differently than previous administrations is that he tries, as I said, to bring together this foreign policy together with the business people who have very close cooperation with the chamber and with other associations, business associations in Cyprus, and we try to work with them together also abroad. The role of the government as a government is to facilitate and to lead the way. It's up to small businesses to do these initiatives that you're mentioning, and I agree that bringing also people from the diaspora back that they've worked in much demanding tech landscapes and environments and ecosystems, it's easier to bring them back to their roots. That's how we call it in my family, because I'm also partly, I grew up in Athens, so I'm also part of the diaspora, previous generation, but what we call bringing people back to their roots. And I think this is what you're mentioning.
Thank you. I just want to take the opportunity to thank Her Excellency for joining us today. A very topical conversation.
No, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you for all the comments. And I think that we are a government that's always on a listening mode and more than welcome to engage with anybody. And if I leave just one last message, is that we're here for you. And if you want to pass any message, you can always call us, get in touch with us, and just spread the message. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts for more inspiring conversations that are shaping Cyprus's global future. You can also explore more episodes on our website and selected video interviews on our YouTube channels.